So it looks like crab number 1 is trying to grab a hold of another crab. And there's another crab approaching it. The other crab that approached rolled into his little shell after the aggressor crab touched him. Aggressor crab is now retreating with vulnerable crab. And he is making his way towards the kelp stuff. And he's almost out of sight. The other crab seems to be almost putting up a fight. Very weak one. Vulnerable crab seems to be fighting what is happening. Aggressor crab puts his two big appendages around him. Vulnerable crab is now mostly in his shell. Aggressor crab continues to try and take him. Looks like they're going in a little enclosure. This may be the end of our journey with the crab snatcher, is what we'll call him. Let's move on to something else, shall we? Let's see. There are at least 50 hermit crabs in this little tide pool. Okay, we got another sort of big one. And he is moving his way up the rock. continues to move up the rock. His little antenna things move. Okay, this little guy seems to be eating. He's grabbing stuff with his claw, kind of breaking it up, and then putting it around his, what I assume is his mouth area. And he's been doing that for the past 3 minutes or so. His little antennae are moving rapidly. There's another small animal. I don't know what it is. Fly on me. Where'd you go? Oh. Now he's a bit deeper in there. He's no longer moving his claw to his mouth. He's just moving his little antenna. I'm gonna try to get a better position. Ah. Okay, this little guy seems to be pulling things off the red kelp stuff and putting it towards his mouth hole. His big antennas are out, and he's feeding right next to another little guy. He's kind of tussling around in the kelp, seagrass, what have you. Okay, and he's just making his way around it. Still feeding. All of his appendages are out. The other guy feeding on his same kelp is now gone. Well, now he's coming back. Looks like he's trying to scare off the other crab. Moving his antennas. Now he's approaching the other crab. One crab sticks his paw, his freaking clamper thing out. Alright, looks like there's gonna be a duel. They're sort of squaring up with each other. One is extending his claw out. His claw has a little white tipped. Oh no, he fell! Oh no, he fell to the bottom. But he won't let it stop him. He's probably gonna come back up. So he's making his way back up the rock. And the now dominant crab is Jay chillin'. Oh, he's gotten a little brave. He's cozied up to a smaller crab who's assumably napping in his shell. No, it looks like he's just walking over it. He's going to the bottom of the rock. Now he's at the side of the rock, slowly making his way. He is clumsily scaling the side of the rock. Alright, he takes a hold of a part of the kelp, I think, to pull him up, and he is leaving our view, so we might have to move on to it. Oh, he fell a little bit. And he fell a lot of it. Now he's at the bottom, grasping at little kelp. Alright, we're gonna move on over to these guys. That's a big one. And he's camouflaged. Camouflaged real good. Oh, he positions himself on top of a smaller hermit crab. And the other hermit crab is now out of view. And he's reaching his antenna up. Moving his appendages around. He grabs on to one of the branches to move. So he has left the smaller crab. He's moving away from it. Does nothing. Looks like he tugged on a piece of the kelp, but he's not moving. At least not from my vantage point. Okay, I see his antenna moved and the right side of his appendages are out and he is moving again. Sorry, I was trying to show you guys this one. Kind of hard to see. He's really camouflaged. He's moving sideways. No, he's not really doing anything. Alright, so either he's getting himself a good meal or he's tugging him for a nap. We are going to move on. Well, just before we do, he's still tugging on the sea kelp stuff to eat it. Let's see what else we got in here. I'm gonna take a quick break because my freaking feet hurt, so